think we're all good to go. Guys, welcome to my living room here in New Zealand, in Wellington. Now, we're going to be working on a 30-minute, give or take, foam roller routine, which is a great way of starting the day. Awesome for getting blood flow throughout the body, loosening up the joints, the muscles, getting deep within those muscles to relieve all of that tension that you might have built up with your training session. So I have two foam rollers here. One, the smaller one here, is super hard. So this is actually my go-to. I tend to use this 100% of the time. Amazing for relieving a lot of that tension. And then this guy, which I'm going to be using today, is quite a bit softer. I don't really use this too much because it is just too soft. But for this session, I'm going to be using it, which will prevent any kind of grimaces and pleasant sounds to your ears, especially that the mic is right here. So this is going to be the one I use today. And then here is just a lacrosse ball, and this I tend to use for my feet, but then also for getting deeper into like the chest and maybe the shoulders and the arms, leaning into the wall. Using it against the floor is going to be too much weight into it, and you'll find that this is excruciating. So I would encourage you to use it up against the wall and just sort of target those areas where you're feeling a bit of resistance, and just lightly pressing this into those regions and whatever else. So yeah, know that I use this along with the foam roller, but for today we're just going to use the foam roller. All right, we'll talk as we go throughout the routine, but starting on your back, we're going to work the upper shoulders. Get nice and comfortable on the floor. I'll sort of move around so you can see everything, but we're going to put this on our upper back, not our lower back. And you're just gonna do around 10 rolls, just loosening into it, getting the hips higher than the shoulders, and that will prevent the foam roller from slipping out underneath you. And it's really important to breathe. You might have to adjust every now and again. So easing into it. And now we're going to get the arms involved. So when you're in that sort of lowest position on your back, you're going to have the arms forwards. As you go to the shoulders, reach the arms above your head. Breathe out as you reach. Breathe in as you come to that mid-back. Adjust whenever you need to. Just keep it going. Keeping the bum nice and elevated. All right, now we're going to come to a bit of a hug. So hug yourself and roll back and forth, the exact same thing. You might feel some cracks here and there, and that's absolutely fine. All right, so same thing, but we're gonna slightly rotate our body, like ever so slightly, so we're coming off the spine onto the side of the spine. We'll start with the right hand side. Again, giving yourself that hug. Try and go all the way to the shoulders. That's it. And now we're going to rotate even more, sort of more onto our side, keeping the hips up, really important. And if you find a sore spot, I want you to just hold it there and sort of like, once you've found it, start to pulse up and down on it, just trying to massage it out. Getting the blood flow to that region. You may find that your head or your neck's aching a little bit, so feel free to shift your arms around and try and feel what targets that area most. All right, now shifting across to the other side. I'll adjust myself just to give a different angle. And again, you're looking for those painful areas because that's where you have some tension built up. You're trying to just ease that tension out of the body and get some good oxygen to that region. All right, coming on to our lower back. Now it's super important that you don't work the spine. So try not to apply pressure directly on the lower spine. So we're gonna come to one side. Let's start with the right and just getting low sort of into those softer areas like the kidneys. You might want to put your arm down. And just working with the foam roller. Any sore spots in there, just hold. Sort of give a bit of a rotation, massage it out. The foam roller is essentially a do-it-yourself massage. So you can almost do it anywhere. I do it on the field sometimes. Take it with me to the pitch. It's such a good way of starting your training session, but also finishing your training session. It's a good way to recover. All right, over to the left-hand side. You may find that one side feels different than the other. That's quite normal. But it's important that we treat them the same. If one side does need a bit more attention, feel free to spend more time on that side, but making sure we're not missing any areas. All right, so you should start to feel a little bit looser in your upper body, in your midsection. We're gonna come on to one of my favorites, which is the glutes, and we'll start with the right-hand side. So leg positioning is quite key to really feeling this and the benefits that it provides. So with your right leg, you're just gonna bring it across onto your left knee. And then from here, we're gonna start on our hands, but we'll eventually go down onto our forearms. And you're just gonna tilt your hips to that right-hand side. Try not to like close up yourself, but stay nice and tall throughout. And remembering to breathe, really, really crucial. All right, rolling out that glute. Sort of having a bit of fun with it. Going in circles. Awesome. Now coming down onto that forearm, you'll feel that this might intensify things a little bit. And just like we did with the upper back, we're going to sort of shift our hips over periodically, maybe doing 4 or 5 lengths on one angle and then rotating ever so slightly and doing again 4 or 5 up and down lengths, if you want to call it that. It's really crucial to ensure we cover every part of the muscle. You may find that actually getting that leg down now, the more you rotate, will actually intensify things, target slightly different areas. And then keeping that leg straight, try and relax the foot. To have the biggest impacts in these regions, it's important to be as relaxed as possible in the muscle to ensure we can penetrate it deep within the muscle tissue and fibers. All right, so still on that side, I'm going to change angle so you can sort of see me. We're now rotating onto the front. So you can see how I'm sort of opening up my hips. That left leg is out to the side. And you're getting deep within that hip joint. You may find you want to sort of roll on that joint itself. But it's all about body position, getting your body in the best location to have the best impact. All right, coming on to the quad. And we're gonna save the IT band for last. So this might feel a bit awkward if this is the first time you're doing it. But we're going up and down the very center of the quad. Try your hardest to relax that leg. You may find that you want to place the other leg on top as well. That will sort of make it a bit kinder to your quadricep. But once you sort of get experience with how the foam roller works, that's when you can have a bit of fun. Good, making sure you get all the way down to the knee. And we're going to slowly rotate onto the side of the leg. So right on the outside, you can probably see a little bit of redness. That's absolutely fine. That is blood flow just going to those regions, which is exactly what we want. So, okay, slightly different angle. We are rotating onto the side. So getting 4 lengths with each angle. I hope that makes sense. Working with the foam roller. Now it's really important to be strong within the core and making sure that you're preventing sort of sinking the belly button down. Stay strong like you would in a plank position. And eventually we're gonna make our way over to the IT bands, which is the very side of the leg. Now you may find that this is excruciating, especially if you've never stretched them before. A lot of stress and build up tends to accumulate in this region. So on this hard guy here, like, it's audible how painful it is. Like, yeah, it's pretty rough, especially on hardwood floors. On carpet it's a lot better. But eventually you want to get up to that position where you can just stack your legs like so. And again, try and keep to those channels and not compensating as you roll through. Oh yeah, even with this soft one, I can feel it quite intensely. If you need to support yourself and sort of give it one of these to take off the pressure, by all means, do what feels good for you. And then last thing we're going to come to on this quad is going to be the inside. So this feels a little awkward at first, but in order to really target this inside, again, this is really where a lot of stress accumulates. So we're going to angle it sort of 45 degrees down on that left side, and we're just going to roll out that inside of the leg, shifting the hips. You might have to adjust, and then you'll feel with the VMO right here, that sort of teardrop, that's that can be super painful. But rotating the leg sort of up to get deep within that. Oh, feels beautiful. Nice. If you do feel that you are struggling to find these areas, feel free to pause the video and just experiment a little bit. You might find that you want to spend 5 minutes on each sort of region. Absolutely fine. Okay, now we need to come to the left side. So we're going to repeat the exact same thing. I'll face this way now so you can sort of see. But crossing the leg over, starting up high on the hand there, just having a little bit of a roll around, seeing what it feels like. Nice. If you find that soft spot that you're like, oh, feel free to just kind of hang out, get a little bit of a circular motion going. All right, now we go down. So again, keeping that leg up on the knee, down onto the elbow, rolling out. I tell you, my glutes are feeling it right now, even with this soft guy. Nice. Extend that leg and trying to relax it as much as you can, getting into that hip joint. Beautiful. And we rotate. Getting into that hip joint, trying to stay in there. You might be able to feel that sort of like crevice. Maybe not. Good, and then we're gonna come on to the quad. Feel free to stack the legs together. If you are doing this, the legs together, try just pointing the toes out. And you'll find you're able to target that inside of the quad a little bit. Point the toes as well. Give it 2 or 3 little lengths doing that. All right, come in, back to the quad, just working up and down in those channels. Breathe in with each roll. Nice work. Working our way onto the dreaded IT band right there. Again, you might find that one side is way worse than the other. But over time, with rolling out, you'll feel that you might balance out a little bit more. Good, staying strong. Working onto the side. And if you feel up to it, let's stack those legs. Yes. Good, strong in the core. Nice. Oh. Rotate a little bit onto the quad just for some extra deepness and pain. Nice. All right, coming on to the inside of the quad. So 45 degrees roughly. Get down on the right side and rolling out the inside. Feels super awkward, but this is how you get within the adductors. Good, rotate from the hip just to see if you can push it a little bit further and find those pain points. Remembering, if you feel it, feel free to hold it. Nice. Okay. Finishing up with the lower leg. This is my favorite to do. Love rolling out the calves. So starting with the right side. Now we're gonna just relax the foot, hips off the ground, and we'll start just by going on the back side of the calf, from the ankle to the back of the knee. And you may find there's no pain at all. But rotating to the side, you'll start to feel the bone come into play. At that point, you're just gonna stop the rotation and work back. Opening up the hip, just like so, to get that rotation. You may find that the ball here is really helpful, just for holding into those tight areas. I honestly feel nothing with this foam roller, it's not hard enough. I might just switch it out real quick. Oh yeah. Nice. Beautiful. All right, left leg. Down and up. Oh, that feels so good. Good, rotating inwards. And try to relax the ankle. Try not to flex. When you flex, you're not able to penetrate the muscle as much. You want to be relaxed. It's a good little core workout as well, providing you keep your hips off the ground. But feel free to relax as well. Getting all the way onto the almost the side, working with the foam roller. Nice. All right, I'm gonna come on to the hamstrings. So it's up to you how you do this, in what order, but I always like to start with the calves and then come into the hamstrings. It's kind of hard to feel the hamstrings on the foam roller, but if you've got tightness in there, you probably will feel it. But as you can see, I'm keeping my legs straight. Try not to bend from the knee too much. Unless you don't feel it at all, experiment. But up and down again on those channels. I always like to imagine like shaving your leg. You want to go over it in a nice straight line a number of times, just to make sure you get rid of the hair. I know that's kind of how my mind works, so maybe that's helpful for you. Up and down on those lines. and then rotate it ever so slightly, and then up and down. Beautiful. Good, and then coming across to the left leg. Lovely work. All right, and then lastly, coming back to the lower leg, and we're gonna move on to the front. So with this, we're gonna point the toe to really ensure we can get deep within those stressed areas, keeping the core strong and breathing. So you can see that I'm just rotating on the outside of the shin, and the more you sort of shift your ankle to feel those problem areas, the more we're able to really impact it and try and release it. All right, switching sides. Now my right side is quite a lot more tense, and I think because the amount of ball work I do on my right side, just all of that flexion and extension in the foot as you're dribbling, you're shooting. It's important we get this area. All right, and there you have it. So that is a full body foam roller routine that you can do almost anywhere, just a little bit of a space with a foam roller, of course. It's going to be super important. And you want to ideally do this every day. You could also do it a couple of times a day, a little bit in the morning, just to get the body kick-started, the blood flowing around the body. And then after any training session, just come and visit this guy because it's going to feel a lot better. The recovery is going to be quicker as well, and you're really able to get back on the training field and build stronger muscles with a lot more flexibility and range of motion, which of course helps with everything in football. So hope you enjoyed that. Now you're ready to go out and train, I would recommend heading over and doing a nice warm up to get the heart rate going before you get your foot on the ball. Otherwise, head over there if you're already warm and you can do a full training session. So thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me and my foam roller routine, and I'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.